Ryan Wilson here, and I'm a Dewey Podmonster super fan. A podcast about consumption, great movies, terrible movies, beer and music. So join Sean and John every week as they unleash that dew upon you. And remember, kids, if it doesn't say Dewey, don't do it. Brought to you by the You Run Podcast Network.
Yeah, I'm a stuff crust. A nigga some mystery ass I'm a stuff crust. Stuff crust, yeah, I'm a stuff crust. So what you choose, gonna bust, yeah, I'm a stuff crust. Stuff crust, yeah, I'm a stuff crust. A nigga some mystery ass I'm a stuff crust. Stuff crust, yeah, I'm a stuff crust. So what you choose, gonna bust, yeah, I'm a stuff crust.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the You Gonna Eat That Crust podcast. I'm your host with the most on the ones and twos. You know they call me Swill Murray. You know they call me Bilbo Schwaggins. It's your boy, Ryan Wilson. And with me tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Follically Challenge himself. Greatest varicose veins in podcasting, Greg Hoey. Greg, what's good, you sexy motherfucker?
Everything's good. How y'all doing?
Also with me tonight, Detroit's finest. Motherfucking, he's an A when it comes to B movies. Even though he doesn't like the term B movies, it's motherfucking John. Don't you call him Jonathan? John, what's good, baby?
I said I don't like the term B movie. It just confuses. I'm doing well. I'm here. I'm not even talking about movies tonight. I'm doing good.
Great. Let's see the pride. The pride of Pennsylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, the J-pop demon hunter himself, Justin. Justin, what's good, baby?
My words are my bullets. Hello.
That's deep, bro. Also with us tonight, the first lady of Crust herself, the queen of koalas, is motherfucking Kate from Down Under. What's up?
Hello.
Motherfucker?
G'day, mate. There you go.
Oh,
I just
she
can't
said
do
the
it.
thing.
I know.
She said the thing.
Boy.
I can't do it. It sounds like shit when I do it, but I'm gonna practice it. I'll do it properly next time. Oi, hi.
Yeah, let's get that Australian accent
Just
down.
watch Crocodile Dundee a few times and you can fake it. So
Yeah, but that's a good idea. Yeah, well done.
Now that's a knife.
yeah, see, that's all you need to say.
Yeah.
Now, are the Wiggles as big of a deal over there as I've heard?
The Wiggles are a massive deal. I remember the OG Wiggles. They were originally the cockroaches,
Damn.
obviously, but
Shit.
I remember when they were the cockroaches, and yeah, there were lots of single mothers at the Wiggles concerts, and they were all very into it. Yeah, my kids
were
love the
wiggling.
Wiggles. They were
So they were the
yeah.
cockroaches before?
Yeah, an actual like proper rock band called the Cockroaches.
Oh, okay.
Some of them were, and then they formed. And I think, yeah, someone I knew Murray, the Red Wiggle, but I can't remember who.
Yeah, he's the only I think he's the only one from the original lineup that's still in it.
Yeah,
now it's a whole new Wiggles. It's not my Wiggles. I'm fine.
No,
I'm fine with
it's not my
whatever
Wiggles
they
either.
decide to do. But Jeff Murray, I mean, those are my
Yeah.
boys. All right,
Anthony
beep,
and
beep, chug
yeah.
a chug a big red car. And I'm saying, no, you
Dorothy
don't.
the
'Cause you guys
dinosaur?
have dogs. Damn it.
Now you've got
Dorothy
the Tree of Life.
Dinosaur. Shit. Yes, I could go all day. Fruit salad, yummy, yummy. But we're not
Yeah.
here to talk about the Wiggles. All right?
Wait, we're not?
No.
We should. in an episode.
I don't even know who the fucking Wiggles are.
I thought the cockroaches were a kid's band, and they were like, hey, we need to really change our name. This cockroaches thing isn't working out.
Yeah, they really took off once they had a normal name. Yeah, no, they were like a regular band. I think they realized the money was in the children's entertainment game, so they went for that.
It sure is.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Are you going to eat those apple slices? That's our new podcast.
All right. Well,
Nap
Justin
time.
and John are fucking pissed right now.
I don't even know what's happening.
There's the punk band called the Cockroach Clan.
All right. 2 Ks.
They're actually Australian, if that helps.
Holy shit. I didn't even put them on my list. Justin,
Boy.
I'll send you some info on the Wiggles later.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're here to talk about a subject very near and dear to my heart. All right. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're here to talk about our favorite 3 punk rock albums amongst ourselves. we didn't collectively come up with 3 because we don't communicate all that much outside of this podcast. I mean, I talk to Greg all the
Some of us
time,
don't.
but our relationship's pretty fractured. So it's it's me. It's on me. I'm a very a lot of ups and downs, what have yous. I am the Shia LaBeouf of the podcast. Now, folks, punk rock came to me in a very weird way, and I've never really told anybody's story. And I'm gonna tell it tonight on the podcast for the first time. When I was in 7th grade, I was friends with this kid named Jamie, and our thing was tetherball. You everyone know what tetherball is?
I was
Yeah.
semi-pro tetherball, actually.
All right, tetherball. There's like a volleyball sized ball with a chain attached to it,
Jesus.
hanging off a long pole, and you bat it to each other while it wraps around the pole.
It's
All
more
right?
punk rock if you do it with a beehive.
Absolutely.
It's got spikes on the volleyball.
7th grade, there was a group of us all playing tetherball, and I was playing with Jamie, and then like this kid Mike decided that he was going to take my turn instead, and he went against Jamie. Well, on his first hit, Mike hit it so hard that the chain went around Jamie's neck, and nobody could get it off, and he actually ended up dying on the playground.
Oh shit.
What?
Sorry.
Yeah,
It's metal.
so like a
Sorry
couple
for
months
laughing.
later, his parents came and dropped off like a bunch of his stuff that they said I'd want to have because we used to have sleepovers and shit all the time when I was a kid. And in the shit that they gave me, there was this box with a bunch of CDs in it. And there was a Black Flag CD and a Dead Kennedy CD in it. And that's when I fell in love with punk rock right there.
Lies!
No,
made
we're
that
all like,
whole
is
thing
he
up.
taking the piss or not? I can't tell.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I came up with that when I was super baked the other night. I was like, I'm going to tell that on the podcast.
His
But
name was
really-
Tony, not Jamie.
That was
But
Australian
really-
level bullshitting. I'm impressed.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel good about it. I mean, rip, Jamie. No, but we decided that tonight we're going to tackle our top 3 each favorite punk rock albums of all time. So that's what we're going to fucking do, all right? I've been listening to punk since I was like 15, but always off and on. I'm never like, I don't stick to one fucking genre of music all the time. I like to jump all around, okay? I just like the musics. And I can't listen to one kind of it all the time. Because that'd be bad. So, John, I really thought of you when I initially came up with this topic, because I always see you posting and talking about punk bands that I've always liked. So I'm going to have you start us off, you sexy motherfucker.
All right, I don't know about sexy, but I'll start us off. So, my punk rock origin is a little different than Ryan's. There was no death involved other than the death of innocence, and I'm okay with that. I came into punk in 1993, and I know that because it was right after In Utero came out. In Utero is not the album that I chose because I fucking don't like it, and I learned that because I had a cousin who was a little bit older than me. I brought my In Utero album over, and I was like, check this out. I got this In Utero album. He immediately broke it, threw it out his fucking window, and replaced it with 3 albums. One of those albums was the album Suffer by Bad Religion. And I still to this day think that might, if you were to give me one singular punk rock album, that would be the one that I'd say is probably the best punk album to come out there. The whole album's about like 14 tracks, if I remember right. Clocks in around 30 minutes. It's got classic songs like Do What You Want, Suffer, You Are the Government, and so on. It's the album that introduced harmonies and melody to punk rock. And without that album, I don't think all the epitaph bands and all the pop punk bands and all those that came after that would be a quarter of what they are today. It changed the face of what punk was from just being loud, aggressive, disorienting screaming to something a little bit more. And for me, it's just hands down one of the best albums, period. But in this genre, it's above reproach for me.
Sick. Blind Religion, Bad Religion's always been kind of a blind spot.
Blind Religion.
Yeah, Blind Religion. No, Bad Religion's always kind of been a blind spot for me. Them and another very well-known band. I've never really gotten to Pennywise all that much either. But just when I do hear them, it's not like I don't skip the shit. I always bump some fucking Bad Religion, and I'm fine with that. Anyone else have any bad religious experiences?
That's why I'm an atheist my whole life growing up.
All right,
I mean,
so I'm
that's
gonna
one
guess.
way to look at
I guess,
it.
guess we're
Am
gonna
I the only
say
one that's heard this album?
I've
Yeah.
heard most of their shit. I just it was always just one that I kind of skipped around, you know.
We're off to a good start.
Bad Religion's just not a band I ever really got into. Much like Ryan, it's kind of a blind spot for me.
One would say Blind Religion.
Do they sing that song "When I See You Smile"? Is that Bad Religion?
Nope.
Shit, who's
Nope.
that?
They're big hits that hits. I don't even know if they really you would call them hits. They're songs that you might know. Mostly came in the late 90s off of albums like Stranger Than Fiction and The Gray Race. So they did 21st Century Digital Boy was one of their songs that actually got airplay.
It's
If
bad
you've seen
English.
Clerks,
Sorry, just
it's okay.
realized.
If you've seen the movie Clerks, the original one, the scene where they knock over the coffin, they play Leaders and Followers by Bad Religion in that movie. Also, that's a B-side off of Stranger Than Fiction. A lot of they've never really, I wouldn't say they ever really broke through the way like a Green Day or like an Offspring did. They never hit that level of success. That said, they've been around for over 40 years and they've yet to make a bad album, so they're doing something right. So
They're definitely not without their notoriety. I mean, you know, they're well
Yeah.
fucking known in the punk circuits per se.
well, and you could make an argument too, like their original guitarist founded Epitaph Records. So with again, he put out bands like NoFX, Pennywise, Rancid, and literally hundreds of others that went on to become fucking the Offspring mega star bands that were out there. So they had a lot of that band had a lot of influence on the punk scene in general, regardless of just their music.
Absolutely. Well, really, my real punk roots are. I got to grow up in a fucking super cool punk scene. Like, there was one club in my town where there was a show twice a week, 3 times a week, $5, all ages shows, and the Queers played there, and Dropkick Murphys, and like a bunch of other fucking Hate Breed and Agnostic Front. I saw a lot of really fucking cool shit when I was like 16 or 17. And I went to school with this kid Mike and another kid Pat, who like shoved this album down my throat and said, "Dude, if you want to fucking like, you like punk, he's like, you're gonna fucking like this." And that is when they handed me a copy of NoFX Punk and Drublick, released in 1994, and that was my big like hurrah into punk, ska, whatever the fuck genre mashing you want to call it. And it's just a fantastic album front to back. Some of my favorite songs are Linoleum, Dig, Don't Call Me White, Perfect Government, Jeff Wears Birkenstocks. I mean, it's a classic album. Fat Mike's fucking still killing it. They were a band since fucking 1983. They put out 17 albums plus a bunch of fucking like, you know, singles and 7 inches and shit. I have yet to see them, you know, so I probably
You're
miss
not
my
gonna.
out on that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they broke up as
yeah.
a touring band, but they're still releasing stuff. So
Yeah, and hopefully, I mean, I'll get to see Fat Mike and Co-Defendants one of these days here, because
Hell yeah.
me too.
that's probably my favorite fucking punks whatever act going right now. So he's still fucking
Well,
making noise, and I'm loving it. So I'm loving
he
it.
doesn't. I've seen co-defendants 5 times, and I haven't seen Mike play with them. I've seen them open for Mike with
Yeah.
no effects, but Mike does not tour with them. He only produces and records in studio with them
Sure.
Oh,
for
really?
right now.
I mean, he's an older chap now at this point in his life, anyway. So I can see
Well,
it. You know, not all of us have
yeah.
the stamina of Greg Hoey.
It's true.
You've seen No Effects, haven't you, John?
More times than I can count. So
That's great, man. Fantastic.
So when NoFX started talking about like calling it quits around their 40th year, and they ended up going 2 years after that, I saw them 8 times in that 2 year span, and I was traveling all over the country specifically to see NoFX again as much as I could before they were gone. So I caught in the last couple of years, I saw them in Detroit twice, Boston, Pittsburgh, Chicago, New York, and Philly, all within like a 2 year span. So yeah, I absolutely love NoFX. I've said a million times, like politically and what NoFX their message actually is, I probably align with them more than any other band on the planet. They kind of like from a subject matter standpoint, hit everything I believe in. They're very pro trans, pro like gay. They're the first band that I can think of that played with the pride flag on stage, and they've been doing it since like the early 90s. Every time I saw them the last few years, they came out to the Time Warp, which was great. You get to see Mike go out there often in a dress dancing around to the Time Warp. And they're an interesting band, like many of these bands. Like I've seen them play like absolute fucking garbage, typically as a result of drugs or alcohol, but I've also seen them absolutely kill it. So they're I'm still bummed that I'm never gonna see them again.
Well, that sucks, man. But that's
Yep.
life. At least you got to enjoy the magic while it lasted. Any of you three motherfuckers, any interest in no effects? You could say no. Don't just stare at me. It's creepy.
I'm not really familiar.
Well, I can't see you right now, so I'm not staring at you. No, No Effects is great. They're a band that I don't go to that often, but I do like their music. I like what they stand for. It's just not the. Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say I listen to every punk band that's ever existed. I'm so in. There's some bands that I connect with, some I don't. It's like any genre of music, no matter what it is. Like Kate and I talked about Britpop earlier. There's a lot of British rock bands that I really dig. Others I've never listened to for whatever reason. No Effects I do listen to at times. I just don't have a personal connection to them. But yeah, they're great.
Fantastic. And I'm the same way, Justin. I don't listen to any specific genre of music all at once. I jump all around. So if fucking No Effects pops up, I'm gonna bump it every time. I mean, that's the best part about truly enjoying music and not being defined to one sort of music. It lets you have an expansive, vocabulary and mind about music.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about No Effects. I really need to dive into their catalog more. I pretty much am not a huge punk guy, but I do love punk. And when I started listening to No Dogs in Space was when I started getting more involved in punk and learning a lot more about some of the earlier punk bands, whether it be the Stooges, the Dead Kennedys, and Bad Religion and all that stuff. A lot of the messages are very cool. Obviously anti-government and pro all the good stuff. But yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about No Effects, and I really need to dive into them.
Well, you sometimes have to search out the bands that are pro the good stuff, because as a lot of people know, there's a long history of like skinheads and shit and fucking
for sure
punk music, and you gotta weed those motherfuckers out. I think I listened to this one band for a long time before I realized, I was like, oh my god, everything they're saying is like Nazi shit, and I didn't realize, so I shelved that album and got rid of it, and yeah. You gotta listen to the message, kids.
It's actually one of the things I miss about buying physical albums, especially for punk rock, and I assume other genres are like this too. I used to love going into the liner notes and just seeing what other bands thanked. That was almost like a roadmap to kind of dive into things. And streaming's cool because like the whole world is at your fingertips with music. You have however many millions of albums and songs and whatnot you can find, but it's like a drop of water in the ocean. You almost have no real good guide unless, you get lucky and their AI like overlord points you towards something good. Having like a more direct map and like being young and being able to just wander into a club and see like 4 bands play. Like I discovered half these bands just by going to see them. Like that's how you get into them. And now it rarely happens that way. So
yeah, if you see "Thank You, David Duke" in the liner notes, you're like, yeah, I'm probably gonna pass on that.
That's fair.
All right, Kate, we've kept you waiting long enough, love. What do you have to say to the people from an Australian's perspective?
Well, I actually am not, because you can probably tell because I just got Bad Religion and Bad English mixed up, which is really embarrassing. And anyone listening to it will be going, this girl should not be here. But hopefully I redeem myself with my choices. My background with punk isn't super strong, obviously. My earliest memories of it are probably when I lived in England and I was pretty young. I mainly played with my cousin Emily, but there was another, I don't know if he was a cousin or a family friend, but he was very into punk music. And I think The Clash and the Sex Pistols were probably my earliest memories of punk music. And I was pretty little, so I was probably a bit perplexed by the whole thing, but I do remember that. The first album, I've actually picked 2 Australian albums, but should I give my first album now? Is that what we're...
Do it. Do the thing.
For the record, Kate, you absolutely should be here. It doesn't matter how punk or not you think you are. That's just a bunch of
Oh.
dumb bullshit that like people say. If
Oh,
you like
okay.
music, then you should wander into whatever fucking genre you like. Period.
And if I
Thank
can say
you.
real quick, the most punk rock thing you can be is a nonconformist. You can like whatever the fuck you want. And if it's a little bit of punk, that's punk. That's punk rock.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you all. I feel better about being clueless.
Oi, 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 oi. That's punk
Oh,
rock.
you're the
That
best.
too.
So the first album I chose was The Stooges' self-titled from 1969.
Nice.
Yay. So yeah, formed in Michigan, there you go, in 1967. I think everyone knows Iggy Pop, you know, the Candy Candy song. Like everyone knows that song. But if you've seen Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, you'll know I Want to Be Your Dog, which is on the album. And I don't know, I just really like this album. I think it's one that I do listen to just all the way through, but I think Love Not Right and Real Cool Time are probably my other favorites on it. Yeah, it's the first one I decided to choose. I wanted to pick something that probably that didn't come straight to mind, you know, straight away, but
Great
I like
fucking
this one.
pick.
Yeah.
I'm of the opinion that is without question the first punk rock album, period.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. So
I
that
love
album has go ahead.
All I was gonna say is I love that she prefaces it by saying that I'm not big into punk, and then she picks the Stooges, like
Stooges,
fucking
yeah.
classic.
I've redeemed myself. Yay.
That album's got such like a fuzzy, gnarly, like grimy sound to it. It hits so well. There's another band that I'm sure is going to come up called Get Dead, because I know a couple people in this room have opinions about them, but they do a really, really bitchin' cover of Be Your Dog that's worth seeking out. You have to actually search it by name, but it sounds. I mean, that song is just talk about an earworm. With that shouldn't be an earworm. It's so good.
It's crazy now that people are paying thousands of dollars with Ozempic to have the body that Iggy Pop had with just boatloads of heroin.
Yeah.
Cocaine too.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, I think he's
all
basically
right.
chemicals at this point.
All right, Greggy Puffs. You're not next. Justin is. Justin, go.
So I think my start in punk rock, John's gonna appreciate this, is Return of the Living Dead, the movie when I was a
Fuck
kid.
yes.
Like that's what got me, whether it was 45 Grave or the Flesh Eaters or the Damned or whatever. Just like watching that movie, hearing the punk rock in it, listening to that, I'm like, I have to seek out more of this. And then eventually I came to the big ones like the Ramones, like the Clash. And I say that because first of all, I could really easily pick London Calling as it's one of my 5 favorite albums of all time, but I think it transcends music genre because they blend so much in there. So I've omitted it from my list, and instead I went with another album that I really loved. It's my first album was released November 10th, 1978. It's a band that doesn't get talked about quite as much from that crowded punk rock scene of the late 70s. It's the debut album from English punk rock band X-Ray Specs. It's called Germ-Free Adolescence, and I love the rawness of Polly Styrene's vocals. She at times, to me, has this coolness of a Debbie Harry, if you will, with the grit of Iggy Pop as well. The album is hard, it's fast, it's authentic. There's 14 hard hitting tracks, and it's only 41 minutes. It leaves you reeling, and to me, it feels like the fucking album rips your throat out, which I love in punk rock. I think they also have this really kick-ass album in the 90s that's maybe a little bit more bubblegum, but I kind of dig that as well because you guys know I like pop as well. So that poppier stuff appeals to me as well. But yeah, that's my first pick. I love this band. I wish they would have released more, but I love this album.
Fantastic. I have nothing to say about it because I don't know that band. But
I love that you went deep cut.
Yeah.
It's they're not one of my favorites, but they're solid and they're super rad. I always, outside of the Clash, had a hard time the Clash and the Damned had a hard time getting into the whole English punk scene for whatever reason. But that album is definitely solid, like cover to cover.
Fantastic. All right, well, Greg, I guess it's the moment some of us have been waiting for. Go.
Well, speaking of the Clash, check out Justin and Greg Presents Clash vs. Ramones, or as some people call it, a slice of pop culture, because we got shamed into changing our name
That's right.
by somebody named Ryan Wilson.
Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys told you to change your name?
Yeah.
That's punk.
Speaking of Ryan Wilson, I had 3 bands, and I listened to John, I listened to Ryan. They gave me some punk bands to check out, and I checked out the Suicide Machines, and War Profiteering is Killing Us All from 2008 was an amazing album. I listened to probably like 3 or 4 of their albums, and I probably listened to this one like 3 times, and it was fucking awesome. The way it blends the genres with a little bit of ska, a little bit of punk, some heavy stuff. Red Flag, Hands Tied, All Systems Fail. I really enjoyed the debut album as well, but I felt like somebody else might pick that, so I moved on from that one. But yeah, the Suicide Machines, I had never heard them before, and they were fucking wild, man. I really enjoyed them a lot.
I've got so many Suicide Machines stories, but I'll save them for later. So
Not a bad idea, Judd.
that album, it's interesting. You pick songs off that album. So they just play. So Suicide Machines are my neighborhood. Like literally, they live about 5 miles from me. Like they're real close to me. I've been friends with most of them for years, and like so I'll get into other shit with them later. They just played that album start to finish 2 nights only at a local club here that holds about 200 people, and I've seen them in that club, and it's just violent as shit. It's amazing, and I'm kind of amazed that you picked the 2 like kind of the 2 diamonds off that. You didn't pick the 2 like songs that they generally like. Most of that album they don't play. The songs they do play are War Profiteering and Capsule, and you skip both of those, which I'm kind of impressed by. So
Well, whatever grabbed me. I like 3 of these songs, or 2 of these songs I like put right on my like songs. I'm like, yes, they're at the top of the list now, so when I start my like songs, that's what I hear.
Sick.
oh yeah,
Good pick. I actually I just discovered that band myself like 2 years ago, and I really dig them as well. So awesome pick, man.
Yeah, I listened to about probably 3 or 4 of their albums, and 2 of them like really grabbed me, but again, I knew maybe somebody would choose one of the other ones, so I went with this one, and I thought it was fucking awesome. And one thing I love about punk as well is, you know how I hate 20-minute songs. Like, I don't need Tool being Pink Floyd. I like how it's, hey, this is a 15-song album, and it's fucking 27 minutes, you know, or something like it. They're
That's
just
generous. That's generous, Greg.
Yeah, I know. They're in and they're out. Most songs or most albums are probably like 30 minutes, which is awesome. Not that I don't want to hear more, but it's just cool that you can listen to an album on the way to Portsmouth, New Hampshire, you know, from Rochester.
Yes, Greg. Good point. All right. John Don Jovi, back to you.
all right. So my second pick is going to be blending genres a little more. This one came out in the late 80s, and this band launched a couple other bands as well. They only made 1 album. They were part of the Berkeley scene for Flash in the Pan, but this album ushered in a whole second genre. It started the whole third wave ska movement.
I
It
know
was
where
a
you're
punk
going.
ska. It masterpiece. It's Operation Ivy's only album, Energy. It came out, I think it was 89 that it came out. This is like 23, 24 songs. And it's just a blistering fast, at the time, totally fresh sounding, different take on the genre. This is before I knew all the people in the band might or might not be dirtbags. Conversation for a different podcast, but just it's so raw. It's so like frankly drug fueled and like goes to such different places. And there's never really the only album that even comes close to hitting the levels that Energy hits is another one that's going to come up later in this conversation. But without this album, like again, much like Suffer, the scene doesn't turn into half of what the scene became in the 90s. So it's just an absolute banger of an album. No skips, all the things the kids say.
See, this album was like the first album that came to mind when we were making this list because it's infinitely re-listenable. I've listened to this album hundreds of times in my lifetime. And it's so perfect. It's so good. It's just timeless. And I love anytime I see anyone with Operation Ivy shirt, I always got to walk over and dab them up like, yo, you know. So yeah,
and if you can't get down with songs like Sound System or The Crowd, like I almost got to question you. Like those songs are just they're only like 2 minutes long, but they're just absolute master classes in writing this style of music.
So was it just inner fighting? How come the one album only?
So they didn't want to become popular. When Operation Ivy was starting to take off, they recorded one EP. They actually recorded 3 EPs that you can find as 7 inches for Lookout Records. When they started getting popular and getting approached by record labels, and at the time that was like you basically got exiled from the punk scene if you signed with a major label. So instead of doing that, they took all those albums, put them onto one full length album, and fucking broke up.
That's so punk.
Not
Dog.
long at not long after that, Tim he's Lint on that album. He's listed as Lint Armstrong. Tim Armstrong, the
Oh.
frontman in Rancid, got heavier into drugs. Matt Freeman, the bassist of Rancid, who was also in Operation Ivy, basically said, "Hey, you can't keep fucking doing this." And I think it was '93 was their first album, is when you got Rancid's first self-titled album, and they kind of went from there. But that's why they broke up, is because they just didn't want to become some major label popular band. They couldn't keep up with the demand for what they were.
Well, it seemed like some of them did, because if they went on to form Rancid.
Yeah, so there's other stories about that, like somewhere down the road, and you can make an argument that Rancid never really sold out. They never became part of a major label. They stayed independent forever. They were on Epitaph for their first 5 records, and then they went to Hellcat, which is owned by Tim Armstrong. So they've always been an independent label. They've just gotten a lot bigger because they're a good fucking band.
We used to cover
Even if
Time Bomb.
some of them are
and
dirtbags.
I really loved to cover that song. That was a fun song to cover.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Outcome the Wolves didn't kick off punk in a big way. Like, for me as a young buck, I mean, I was like maybe 15 when that shit came out. And that was definitely a great album, man. They've definitely put out some solid shit. I can't say anything bad about Rancid.
Yeah, I like Rancid a lot as well.
I love their music. I'm not sure I like their people, but I love the music. So.
Art from the artist, John. 7 and Usual Suspects is still a great movies. Kevin Spacey, shitbag. All right?
Yeah, but David Fincher erases all sins, so.
You're damn right he does.
You won't get any arguments here.
Oh shit, I guess it's on me now. Fuck. All right, well, so this was kind of a blind spot for me for a while. I never really got into their fucking shit. I didn't really hear much of their shit growing up. But, my friend Greg over here is like, Ryan, you got to check out this Beastie Boys episodes of this thing called No Dogs in Space. Lost Dogs? No Dogs in Space.
No Dogs in Space.
If you're going where I think you're going with this, I absolutely love what you're about to say.
All right, so I listened to the Beastie Boys thing, and I remember having Some Old Bullshit, the first Beastie Boys punk album, and I loved it. A grade on Mojo, great fucking song. But I'm not talking about the Beastie Boys, because after that, I started listening to an episode about the Dead Kennedys.
Oh yeah,
and
my favorite episode.
I fell in love with their music, man. Jello Biafra is a very interesting and polarizing character in punk who's done some batshit insane things. So my fucking pick was
Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables.
Yes, thank you. Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables, released September 2nd, 1980. I mean, I like it fucking front to back. They're weird. Jello Biafra's voice is fucking weird as fuck, but it works. I love their surf punk style too. I mean, they do some really interesting shit with their guitar work in there, and yeah, man, it's just an interesting album, interesting band, interesting timeline. So check them out.
That's how I kind of started to fall back in love with punk, and just learning more about the bands, like learning about the Stooges or learning about the Dead Kennedys, learning about the Clash, the Ramones. It really made you appreciate them more. Obviously, their music as well, but appreciate what was behind the music as well too. The Dead Kennedys have an insane story. I think that was, again, the episode Ryan's talking about was my favorite episode out of that, and a very interesting band.
They had such an amazing sound from East Bay Ray, their guitarist at that time. It was so unique and different.
Yep.
Now, if you listen to that Dogs, whatever that fucking show is, that Lost, you told me to listen to it too. If I remember right, that goes into all the shit that happened inside the band that's kind of funky. And Jello is polarizing to say the least. My only problem with the Dead Kennedys is I've been listening to them for so long. Like I often don't want to hear Jello's voice, but I absolutely love and respect everything that they've done. I like Jello the person. I have a hard time going into a song of his now, just because I'm like, him again. But he's done cool shit since the Dead Kennedys too. Like his was it Joe Biafro and the Guantanamo Bay Medical something like that is his current band, which is a lot harder. He's done a lot of collabs with the Melvins, which are really fucking good if you like grunge stuff or if you like the Melvins. And he's done stuff with DOA also, which is like right on the heels of Dead Kennedys, which basically sounds like Dead Kennedys, but a different band. They're iconic. They're one of those bands without them, like you can't talk about the 80s punk rock without talking about the Dead Kennedys.
His voice is definitely unique and can be a little irritating at points. I get what you're saying.
Well, after 30 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife's known me 25 years. I'm pretty sure my voice is the last thing she wants to hear some days. So I get that. All right. Well, let's see. Kate, kick it, girl.
My next album is an Australian album by Noise Addict, 10,000 Kids with Guitars. Has anyone here heard of Noise Addict?
I'm looking him up now because I haven't.
No, I can't say I have.
I've mentioned Ben Lee before. He's an Australian musician who, great songwriter. He's touring at the moment. I think he's kind of well known in America. And this band formed in Bondi in 1992, but the album was released in 2017. It's a mix of, I think, some of their demo stuff and then some of their more stuff when they were a bit older. There's like baby Ben Lee's voice in it. He's so young. I'm not infantilizing him because we're actually the same age, but it's interesting hearing him as like a kid. What I love about this album is it goes back to those times where kids would just bash about on instruments in their garage and create music together. And it's a really fun album. They collaborated with Sonic Youth and the Beastie Boys and were actually signed to Mike D's album later on. And yeah, they recorded a demo at 14, sent it out, did some performances. They've got a really funny song. It's funny, haha, but it's called I Wish I Was Him, and it's kind of like a tribute to Evan Dando from the Lemonheads. But yeah, I just wanted to include them because I think they're someone that, I mean, like I said, a lot of people probably know Ben Lee now, but his roots were kind of punky and rocky, and yeah, it's a great, fun album, I think.
Seems like Australians are getting signed really early over there. Like Silverchair getting signed at like 15.
Yeah, it's got that sort of Silverchair vibe to it. They're great too. I'm not really punk, I suppose, but yeah, I really like Silverchair. And Ben is now married to Ione Skye, who you all know her.
Say anything.
Yeah, they've got a podcast called Weirder Together. I listened to an episode the other day. What I love about them is that on surface level, if you just heard them talking, there would be a risk that someone could think they were possibly pretentious in the sense that they are so cool sounding, but they're effortlessly cool and can back up everything they say. They're one of those sort of couples. They're just really interesting. Everything they kind of talk about is fascinating. So definitely worth listening to their podcast as well. And they live in Sydney now, I think.
That's called Jedi pretentious. That's what I am. I'm just a real piece of shit. But I can back it all up, bitches.
I'm effortlessly cool.
Well, I love Ben and Ione. I think they're a fascinating couple. But he's probably one of my favorite Australian musicians. And I love his solo stuff. I'd love to see him live. But yeah, this album is really fun. I hope you guys will enjoy it.
I'll check it out.
Yep.
I'd like to have a pretentious off with them. Justin?
Yes, sir.
Pride of Pennsylvania?
Of course.
Go, you sexy bitch.
Thank you. You're not too bad looking yourself. I can't see you right now, but I know what you look like. All right. So for my next album, I went with one of my favorite punk bands. Anyone who's paid attention knows that I've brought this band up in the past. This album released in 1983. The band formed in San Fernando Valley, LA in 1977. The album is Stukas over at Disneyland by the Dickies. Like most of their counterparts, this album hits hard and fast. 11 songs in just 26 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
What I love about the Dickies, I think, is how fun they are. They got a lot of Ramones vibes, which I've always loved them as well. They're just a blast to listen to. It's a nice balance of angst and humor in their music. Obviously, their original song for the Killer Clowns movie is yet another reason why I love the film so much and the band. It just kind of all goes together. I probably could have picked just about any of their albums, like their 2001 album called All This in a Puppet Show is fucking awesome. But 1983's Stuka's Over Disneyland is arguably their best. But yeah, I just love this band and I love this album.
Well, I've seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space. John?
I love the Dickies. I've only seen them once. They're great live. They're a lot of fun. I agree that they have kind of a more silly vibe, which is kind of one of the fun things about punk rock. You can take a band that's like total, like Millions of Dead Cops, that's just out there and you can kind of guess what their message is. And then you can counter that with a band that writes a theme song for Killer Clowns from Outer Space and put them on the same bill. They're I won't lie, they're not my favorite band, but I totally see the appeal. I think they're very influential, especially if you get into like the current era. I think them, along with Descendants, are one of the ones that you could really point to as saying like that's where pop punk came from, is that type of stuff. And yeah, they're a fun band, and that's a fun album. Got no argument against it. So
Dickie's also a versatile pants.
I was gonna make that joke.
they run small, and I don't like that because I'm already fat enough. I don't need to feel fatter because I bought the wrong pants. So
Well, you got to get the flex fit ones, John. Grow up. You're an adult now.
just buy different pants. Fuck that. So
Exactly.
All right, and last but not least, Greg, what do you got?
All right, well, John brought this band up earlier. He had mentioned it to you, and I went and checked them out, and it's Get Dead, an American punk rock band from San Francisco Bay Area, California. They were formed in 2007, and they were noticed by Fat Mike of NoFX and signed to his label, Fat Records. I chose Get Dead.
that's such the abridged version of how they got signed, but cool. Do you want to know how they got signed?
Yes, give it to me.
So they were on tour in Mexico, and their van broke down. So Mike, being in California, got sent down there to go like rescue them. So he went down there. He didn't think their van was really broken down. He started hanging out with them and was waiting for the cavalry, but he hadn't signed them yet. So they're sitting there and they drugged him with ketamine, cocaine, and like two other things. And because they decided to drug him without Mike knowing it, that's why he decided to sign him.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. I am talking about Get Dead's Dancing with the Curse 2020. Now, I almost went with their first album because, I don't know, it had more of like, not like a folksy vibe, but it was way more laid back than this album. And what is the guy's name? Who's the singer?
Sam King.
Yeah, Sam King. Sam King's voice is fucking awesome. And I don't know, was the first one maybe felt a little more acoustic, kind of, compared to like what they did.
Their first full length does. It's more folksy. Their first EP is hard as fuck.
Yeah.
That's got $1,000 Bender on it and handful of other songs. I'm spacing. Their first album goes really hard, and then they kind of dial it back. And then their middle two albums, Bad News and Tall Cans and Loose Ends, are kind of like in between. They kind of go a little bit both ways.
Album was pretty good. I mean, even the folksy stuff still went kind of hard. Like, it grabbed me instantly. I was like, wow, these guys are fucking cool.
Lyrically, it's punk as hell. So lyrically, it totally fits. So.
And he's got the punk voice for sure. And Dancing with the Curse 2020, Disruption, Stick Up, Pepper Spray. Like, this album was fucking fire. Like, I listened to probably 3 or 4 of these guys' albums, and every one of them was a fucking banger. But yeah, their latest one from 2020 was fucking absolutely amazing, and I highly, highly recommend it. These guys are going to become one of my favorite bands because I really enjoyed it.
I will tell you, with the exception of one album that came out in 2023 that I know is going to come up again, I would have said that album is the best album that came out this century, and coincidentally, the same guys on both albums. So that album, that the year it came out for 2 years, it was basically all I listened to just on a loop. It was that fucking good. And yeah, the first time I saw, again, I drove to Boston to see them. They opened for NoFX, which was cool. Like, I went and saw them too. But the reason I went was I didn't give a shit. I wanted to see Get Dead. I didn't know NoFX was breaking up at that point. But I was like, I don't care. I can get to Boston, Get Dead's there. I'm fucking, this is coming off of COVID. I was like, I need to get out of this house. I'm just getting in my car, driving to Boston, when saw Get Dead, and it was worth every minute of that like 20-hour drive. So
Yeah, like I said, I had 3 different albums, and Ryan and John both influenced me. And I, again, like these albums are like fresh and new in the 2000s, and this one's 2020, and it was fucking excellent. I can't recommend this enough. Get Dead, Dancing with the Curse. Check it out.
we have a full episode on that album still up on our feed and on Dewey Podmonster. It's an early one, but that album got a whole feature on it.
Oh, wow.
So
Sick. Hell yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go look for that. Look, man, I've been like a Chesky super fan for the past few years now. It was weird because I almost crossed
Whoop, whoop.
paths. I almost crossed paths with Chesky like half a dozen times in the early 2000s. Like I kept getting invited to shows to play at shows that he was playing, and shit would always just fall through for one reason or another. So he was off my radar. I mean, he was on my radar, but I never got to listen to him really until, you know, streaming fucking became a huge thing. And once I started listening to Chesky, I went like top to fucking bottom, like obsessed. And then I found Co-Defendants, obsessed. And then
as you should be.
and then as you know, John heard me talking about it, it's like, well, are you familiar with Get Dead? No, I'm not. And that was 2 months ago, and since then, I probably listened to them every fucking day since. Their whole catalog is fucking baller. They blend genres so well. They're such tight musicians. Get Dead is fucking the shit.
Yeah, they are.
If you
They're
don't
fucking
know
awesome.
them, get familiar, bitches.
Or Get Dead.
Yeah.
Right, you might as well just lead into the other one because these two bands like just blend together so well. And you started talking about Chesky, and super cool guy too. Like having met him a handful of times now, you might as well just like lead right into the album that I know you're thinking about.
Well, this is Greg's pick actually, because I thought one of you guys were gonna pick it. So
Oh wait, Greg was gonna say. I thought
Yeah.
it was gonna be you, but whatever.
I got a different one that you're also familiar with. But Greg, just go with your next one then.
Let's
bud.
go. I'm going back to back. Call me Mark McGuire and Jose Canseco. It's a baseball reference.
Oh,
I'm on
thank you, 'cause
steroids.
no idea.
You full of steroids right now, or what?
Yes, I'm all
Okay.
jacked up. So we're talking about 2023 Co-Defendants. Slice of Pop Culture did this episode called The Unheard Five, and we got recommendations from Kate, from John, from Ryan, and there was this little song called Fast Ones from John by the Co-Defendants.
Not a punk rock song, by the way.
Not a punk rock song, but that's what's great about punk rock too. I love the genre blending, and these guys blend genres like no other. They get the fucking DOC on that track. Right when I heard that, I was like, "Oh my god, is that the fucking DOC? He's back! He's back!" Fat Mike.
He's on one of their new tracks too.
Oh, dude, yeah,
So,
that track is awesome. By the way, I really fucking love that song. That's fucking a dope song.
it's amazing.
Yeah. So 2021, Fat Mike formed his new project, Co-Defendants, alongside with fellow punk rock musicians Chesky and Sam King of Get Dead. The group seeks to break genre barriers and produce a mix of hip-hop, new wave, and punk rock. And This Is Crime Wave is an absolutely fucking banger of an album. It's all over the place genre-wise, and it's fucking, like, Chesky's awesome, fucking Sam King, you know, of course, the DOC's in some tracks, so... The DOC's the man, and like they're releasing, was it Rivals? Is that the new album? Or
Rivals is a new single. Lifers is a new album. I
Lifers,
think it
yeah.
comes out at the end of the month. So
Yes.
it
they have
does.
3 tracks that have been released off of it so far.
And they're all fucking bangers.
I love Rivals because it's got a line from Chesky where it says, "Fuck your definition of punk, we're doing ours." I think that's perfect for that band. That album that you're talking about, This Is Crime Wave,
It's awesome.
is without question in my opinion, the best album that's come out this century in the 2000s, whatever. And the only band that I can see bands I could see topping it would be Co-Defendants or Get Dead. I don't think any other band can even come close to them. And just the fact that, like you said, we also have a full episode up on our show for This Is Crime Wave that came out a while ago. That band is so spectacular because I don't know how they do it, but they change genre flawlessly track to track. They don't have one song that sounds like another song of theirs. And they carry that on live too. I've seen this band play with 5 guys on stage. I've seen it be just Chesky and Sam in a bowling alley with an acoustic guitar. Like, that's how fucking cool this band is. Like, I can't talk them up enough. And I know I think everyone except Kate's been bullied by me to listen to Codependence at some point on this show. So yeah, I fucking love this band so much.
If you want to make it a clean sweep, you can bully me.
I gotta say, it's the band that I'm most excited about right now by a long shot. And not only do they blend genres song to song, but they blend genres within the same fucking song, even. I mean, they're doing shit that nobody else is doing right now, so a big love.
They're really fucking good at it. They're really good at it, which is amazing. So
I joined Chesky's Patreon just to hear the songs early and hear unreleased shit. So if you haven't done that yet, do that.
And some of the highlight tracks, Fast Ones, Suicide by Pigs, Brutiful. Again, the album's pretty fucking fire top to bottom. So,
all right. Well, I lost total track of where the fuck we are now, so I'm just gonna say, Kate, hit it.
Okay. My final album is by an Australian band called Jebediah, and the album is Slightly Odd Way. This band formed in Perth in Australia in 1994. And let's see, they won a national campus band competition, and one of their songs got a lot of airplay on Triple J, which is kind of a alternative station here. And then Slightly Odd Way was released in 97. I lived in a share house with some friends when I was working in Sydney around this time, and this would always be on, usually on like a Sunday morning when we're all pretty tired from the weekend. And so it always sort of takes me back to that time. Very happy memories. And my favorite songs are probably Puck Defender and Harpoon. Harpoon's more of a ballady, not really a ballad, it's a breakup song, but they're not really like super punky. They're kind of pop punk, but I love them. And they're still touring today, so that's pretty cool. Chris Damon is the guitarist. Kevin Mitchell is vocals, and Vanessa Thornton is the bass player. And I really like Jebediah, and I hope everyone enjoys that as well.
Fuck yeah.
Oi.
Can't wait till they come to Springfield.
I haven't heard them, but I just looked them up and added them to my to listen list. So,
oh, yay. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate, for always bringing new things to my attention, because you bring more recommendations to me than any of these other schlubs do on this show.
What the fuck's that supposed to mean? You clearly don't listen enough.
I listen with my heart.
I love you guys, but Kate brings more. Sorry.
Fuck.
Well, it's almost like she's on a different side of the fucking planet, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Justin, you and I like practically share a brain on half the shit we like, so don't even act like you're surprised by that.
I do have the
I feel
advantage of
offended.
being isolated geographically, so yeah.
Well, no, you got the koalas and the kangaroos. Come on now.
Yeah,
We don't have that shit.
that's true.
No, we don't have
Do
the
kangaroos
rampant-
swim? Can you take a kangaroo across a water body? Like, can they swim? Instead of driving it, can you like
I don't think
sail it, I guess?
sail it.
Well,
yeah.
Don't
don't think they
kangaroos
do.
row the rafts?
Kangaroos
I just-
are 20 miles to the gallon.
I think kangaroos
20
can
liters
go
to the
in
rod.
shallow water, but not deep water. They're probably not made. The shape would be a bit, because they're bottom heavy. I think they might have trouble in the water.
I hear that.
They got
A
them
little
big
bottom
like
heavy.
flipper feet though.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe I'll have to look that up because I'm kind of curious now. They wouldn't want to be
Why
in the
would you
water
look
where
it
there's
up when
crocodiles.
you could just throw a kangaroo in the water.
No.
I would
Oh.
love to watch that.
I would never, unless I was there to save it.
Of course.
They have upper
And then,
body
but
strength.
you gotta get kangaroo lifeguard certified, and that's a whole thing.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, someone not located on the other side of the planet, the pride of Pennsylvania, the J-pop overlord, Justin. What's your final pick? Final pick.
All right, well, maybe I'm going to present something that Johnny doesn't know about, but he's going to fucking hate it because it's more poppy, but whatever. That's what I like, because I think I realized the punk that we're into is the style that we're into, so I like a lot of pop-heavy stuff, so some of my punk's a little more fun, a little more poppy, and that's where I come to this one. My third album is from a band I recently discovered and have fallen pretty hard for. I want to give them their flowers because I think they deserve all the fucking flowers. They're an all-female punk rock band based in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. The album is their 2025 compilation of bangers called Misbehave by the band Bad Skin. I love their energy. They have a perfect blend of pop and punk and incredible fashions. You got to check these chicks out. The way they dress, it looks incredible. I love the aesthetic. This album has unique covers of Dancing Queen, White Rabbit, as well as French and Spanish language tracks that all add up to one of the freshest and best punk sounds going today. I will die on that hill. I really dig Bad Skin, and I can't wait to see what they have for us because they're a relatively fresh band, but I'm really digging them.
I don't know this band. I did just follow them so I can check them out. I'd also recommend female-led bands, the Bomb Pops and the Last Gang in the punk realm. They do a lot of really cool stuff. And if you want to get a little more ska, the Interrupters do a lot of really good stuff too.
Ooh, I like the Interrupters.
And they're also female-led.
I like the Interrupters as well. And I have a female-led band for you in a little bit, my honorable mentions, so I'm not without some myself.
All right, so my last pick is John's best friends. Suicide Machines, album Destruction by Definition. What a fucking album. What a fucking band. Front to back bangers. They go ska, they go punk, they go hardcore. They're everything that I want in punk, and it's one of my all-time favorite fucking punk albums. John, give me all the fucking tea about the Suicide Machines.
I mean, it's Detroit's finest, period. Like that album. So that album came out in 96. When that album came out, their original guitarist was my neighbor one door down. So I used to hang out with him all the time. Used to go see him at this shitty club called Pharaoh's where it was like $3 to get in. That band and that album in particular was one of those like eye-popping, like life-changing moments. And I can still like listen to that song and like, you know, every beat, you know, every lyric, you know, everything word for word on it. That's a game-changing album, and that's the only album that I would put over Operation Ivy's Energy in the punk ska like realm. It is that fucking good.
Yeah, highly influential album too, man. I mean, I found it at just the right time in my life. I mean, and I think they set the bar super fucking high on that first album. They have fucking all their albums are fucking. They have great shit on all their albums, but that one particular album, their first one, is just timeless to me. Anyway, I mean,
yeah, that was a pretty fire album. I really enjoyed it, and I would have probably picked that one over War Profiteering, but I knew you were picking it, so I pivoted a little bit.
I mean, I can't say enough good things about the Machines. I have 2 Suicide Machines tattoos on me. I love that band. They're easy one of my favorite bands all time. Always will be. And again, legit dudes, good people, stand up for all the right things. Went protesting with them several times. They're great guys. Love that band as much as any other band out there.
it's always good when you can hear that bands you like aren't pieces of shit. So, John,
It does
thank
help.
you. You've made my day.
Yeah, it does help. Now, some of their past members have turned into pieces of shit. The guys that are in the band currently are all legit dudes. So
Nice. Well, you know, everyone is a piece of shit at least once in their life.
it happens.
Right? I mean, fuck.
Times change.
All right, so Suicide Machines. That's my pick. That's what I'm sticking with. Does anyone else have a final pick, or is that it?
I haven't done my last pick, so I guess I can wrap this up. And I have a
right.
handful of others.
Johnny
I can
be
just rapid
good.
fire. So I'm going to rapid fire a couple ones that are current bands that, because a lot of these bands, with the exception of Get Dead and Co-Defendants, are like legacy bands that might or might not even be alive or touring right now. I already mentioned Bad Cop, and the Bomb Pops and the Last Gang as far as like really awesome, like female-led bands. If you like the Machines and you like that kind of like ska punk stuff, absolutely check out Omnigon. Same vein of like punk rock music. Jay Navarro and the Traders is a little more mellow, but the same frontman as the Suicide Machines. He's got like 6 bands, and this one's absolutely awesome. And on a separate like side with it, if you haven't checked out Eka Vandal yet, she's been opening for Limp Bizkit, which is weird, but they do a ton of really cool like garage punk sounding stuff. They're a South African band that just, I found them last year and I was blown away by how like fucking cool they are. So all that stuff's absolutely worth checking out. The last one I'm going to recommend, since no one said this band, and they're kind of one of the most iconic punk bands, like you can find their t-shirts at fucking Five Below now for some reason, but The Misfits, Static Age is one of the most prolific punk albums out there. This album had all the Misfits songs that you might have heard of, Last Caress, Hybrid Moments, and Bullet. So many more are on this album. It's only like 20 minutes and it's got like 30 songs on it. This is still Danzig doing the Misfits, which is, in my opinion, the only way to hear the Misfits, because fuck Michael Graves and his Proud Boy bullshit and all the other stuff that came out after that. This album is another one of those, like, there's so many bands that have tried to be the Misfits, including the Misfits, after their first couple albums came out, and just no one ever hit what they could do at that time. I mean, I got lucky enough to see them once with Danzig on one of their like reunion tours, and that still sounded pretty damn good, but it's really hard to compare anything to the Misfits in the 80s and when they were in their heyday and at the height of their powers.
I never liked the Misfits. I never liked Pennywise. That's
fair.
Though.
Well, you're wrong.
I could totally get why you might not like Pennywise. Can I ask why you don't like the Misfits? I mean, I'm not mad about it. I'm just curious.
They just never hit me right. I mean, I don't know. It was total oversaturation in high school and shit. Like everyone like had a Misfit shirt and like oh, you gotta like the Misfits. You gotta like the Misfits. It's like, I don't really like the Misfits. I'd rather listen to like Black Flag and Minor Threat. And I mean, I don't know if you want to define Fugazi as a punk band, but I think they're punk as fuck. And Fugazi 13 Songs was like one of my first picks that I was going to go to. But when I went back and listened to it, I was like, well, it's punk-ish, but it's not, But again, like, punk is what you make it. I consider the first fucking Ween album to be a fucking punk album. God, Ween, Satan. Listen to You Fucked Up and tell me that's not a punk album.
I would say the same thing about Pavement, Slanted and Enchanted.
I'll say that too, man. Pavement started out hard as fuck in the
right,
beginning.
dude.
It's a great band.
You can make an argument that Motorhead's a punk band. So
sure.
Yeah.
John, I'm curious. What are your thoughts on Henry Rollins in general?
I think he's a douchebag. I think he ruined Black Flag. He brought ego to the band. They made some good music with him, and I think he has some things that are a good point of view, but his overall outlook on the world, he's an asshole. And having met him a couple times, he lived up to that expectation.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, damn.
Now, Black Flag pre-Henry Rollins, some of the best shit you'll ever hear. My short list had Nervous Breakdown on it, which is only 4 songs. But, like, Black Flag era Keith Morris, some of the best shit you can find out there altogether. But Rollins, I think he ruined Black Flag.
All right. Well, I mean, I like some of his shit. I think he's an interesting person. He's definitely a music historian, maybe too much of a music historian. And I can see that's probably where he's probably pretty fucking pretentious. But that aside, I guess that's our fucking list, guys.
Well, Justin's got some honorable mentions as well.
Well, like John said, I could go on and on. I don't necessarily like all the same punk bands that he likes, but there's some that I really dig. Like, I can't not mention the Ramones. I love the Ramones. Rocket to Russia, I think, is a perfect fucking album. I think Ramones' entire catalog is pretty fucking perfect, but it is what it is.
Here.
Blondie's self-titled debut is fucking amazing. Again, I love the pop punk thing. I think a lot of it starts there as well. New York Dolls self-title's awesome. This is one that Kate's going to love. Emil and the Sniffers. Their entire fucking catalog. They're everything your new punk bands want to be. It's them. They're fucking incredible. And then speaking of all-female punk band, Babe Haven, Nuisance is fucking incredible. This band will rip your fucking head off and sing down your throat. So go check out Babe Haven. I fucking love them.
Justin, have you ever heard the album Los Angeles by X?
I think so.
If you haven't heard it,
when's X from?
X, they're from the early. They're still touring right now. They're on like their final tour, but they're from the early '80s. They're
okay.
If you're into that like CBGB's sound, so like early Blondie, early New York Dolls, that type of stuff, think like that, but California.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure I've heard X. I just have to go back and check.
Who's got two thumbs and played CBGB's? This guy. What's up? How punk rock is that?
Wait, did you play it when it was like a men's fashion store, or did you play it when it was CBGB's?
We played it when it was a men's fashion store, and we played it in like 2001.
That's pretty punk.
We played it in 2001. Okay. We played it to like 6 people in the audience. What's up?
Greg,
What's up?
Can I just ask, was that an original band or a
It
cover band
was.
that you were
It
playing
was
with?
an original band.
Well, you just proved your own point. You got to play at CBGB's when you're writing your own shit, and now you're playing at the Lilac City Grill doing cover band.
I wish we were playing at the Lilac City Grill. It's closed.
Just like CBGB.
Listen, we also sold out the Stone Church as Solid 8. So anyway, what about Bad Brains? Bad Brains is a great punk
Fucking
band.
love. Well,
Yeah.
I love Bad Brains. I like them more when they got into weird, like experimental reggae stuff than when they were doing their punk stuff. The DC scene's interesting because it's not my. Sorry, Ryan, you're probably going to get mad at me. I'm not a big Ian MacKaye fan. Like Minor Threat and Fugazi never really hit for me. Minor Threat's too like goody straight edge. It kind of annoys me, and Fugazi's like very in his own ass, I guess, to me. I think he's hugely influential and like absolutely iconic, Ian. But like, if you go back to Minor Threat, I like the bands that came out of Minor Threat more than mine. Like, I prefer Dag Nasty, and then Baker went on to be in Bad Religion for like the last 20 years. So I think that I like that more than the stuff that came out of DC. Yeah, well,
sure. I'm not mad at you for that, John. I can see that, and I don't know. It was just the time that I grew up in, I guess. You know,
I grew up in the same fucking time, bro.
Yeah, but it's different. New England, you know, you Detroit guys, you think you're all that, but us New Englanders, let me tell you, we're a different breed, man. No, I'm kidding. I love you all over everywhere in the world except Alabama and Texas. Fuck all those people. All right. Well, Greg, you know, we all had our opinionated opinions, and they were all glorious, folks. What were the other people's opinions, Greg? Who
Listener
else chimed in
feedback
on this fucking episode?
We got a lot of feedback on this album idea. This is probably the most feedback we've ever gotten in our entire life. So, listener feedback, we got Timothy Aarons. He's got No Effects, Wolves and Wolves clothing. He's got Suicide Machines, Destruction by Definition, and Dead Kennedys, Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables.
Great picks.
Great picks. The Pretty Little Podcast has Refused, The Shape of Punk to Come, Zeke, Kicked in the Teeth, and Clowns, Bad Blood.
Nice.
Clowns are fucking great. Like,
Yes,
that's a
they
band
are.
that's super underrated.
Are they like ICP at all?
No.
Whoop whoop!
Whoop whoop.
Scott Llewellyn, my coworker, and he's a drummer. He's into jam music and he plays jam music, but he actually plays in like big crowds. Like he's played with some bigger jam bands. He's a legit musician. He's got the Dead Kennedys, Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables. He's got No Effects, Punk and Drublick, and Operation Ivy, 1988. Robert Bonner.
Oh, Rob Bonner. The only guy who ever saw with a Prince Albert through his dick. Good job on that one, big guy.
He said,
I've seen a few of those.
"This is so hard, man. Like, all these bands impacted me in some way. Against Me, Reinventing Axl Rose, Misfits. I go back and forth on Static Age or American Psycho. Dropkick Murphys, Do or Die. But like Black Flag, Dead Kennedys, The Germs, all those bands and people like Rollins and Jello, those guys sort of shape me more with their spoken word albums."
John's furious right now. Go ahead, Greg.
Chip Grassy, he's got The Descendants, Miles Goes to College, Misfits, Legacy of Brutality, Bad Brains. We got Sean Jones from the Smoking Sounds podcast.
Sean Jones and me tell each other fairy tales. Go ahead, Greg.
Hey, I like the Counting Crows.
No, you don't. Nobody likes Counting Crows.
I love me some Adam Durst. He's like Fred
Adam
Durst.
doesn't like Adam Durst.
So we got Sean Jones. We got The Germs. We got Green Day Dookie. And Circle Jerks Group Sex. Ryan's best friend, Matt Thompson.
Whoa, I dated his sister briefly in high school and went to a Tool show with him.
Yes.
Well, our bands used to play together all the time, too. He was in So Pathetic. I was in Socket. We played together. I'm not going to say that So Pathetic. I left a bunch of my lyrics at their house, and all of a sudden I heard my lyrics popping up in their most popular songs, but I digress.
That's so punk
Rest
rock.
in peace, Adam Valley.
Or
Hey, you got a sister, they got your lyrics. It's a fair trade.
your sister for the lyrics. All right, we'll do it. That's punk rock.
We love you guys. Just kidding. I mean, all that happened, but just kidding. I'd still hang out with you, Matt Thompson, if you want to. I mean, you were pretty cool in high school, and I don't know. I mean, I never thought I was quite cool enough to be your friend, but, you know, I'm pretty cool now. I mean, I look better than most of my, you know, the kids that we were in high school with. I aged wonderfully. So, I mean, if that's something you want to consider, just let me know, okay? Hit me up on gonnaeatthatcrust@gmail.com.
He is cooler than you, though.
Well,
That's
no,
fine.
if you look at my name here on the screen, it says I'm cooler than you. And I was
I know,
including Matt Thompson. Maybe
Right.
not 96 Ryan Wilson, but 2024 Ryan Wilson, way cooler than Matt Thompson.
So Matt Thompson,
Hey, Matt.
Matt Thompson said, it's hard to choose, but I'll go with No Effects, Punk and Drublick, Lagwagon, Haas, and Alkaline Trio. Hey, I like those guys. Good morning.
My wife got a really good nap at an Alkaline Trio concert.
I like those guys. Those guys are cool.
And
Nate
I like
picked
a
them
good
for one
nap.
of our episodes. And Casey White says, same.
Never heard of it.
Is it a cover band?
Nice.
Of course it is. You could do that, so can I. Same.
So he was saying same to the last one. That
Yeah, I get that.
I know. I
God,
having
you know what?
fun
Those
with you
guys,
having fun.
him and Matt Thompson always hung out in high school, so no wonder they had the same picks. Guys,
Yeah.
high school's over. Come up with your own shit.
Well, we used to be cool in high school. That's
No,
pretty
not
much
Matt
what our whole
Thompson
podcast. That's pretty much what our podcast is about: is being cool in
We
high
were
school.
like Seamus Rogers cool, not Matt Thompson. Cool.
Yeah. Michelle has Against Me, reinventing Axl Rose. The second pick for that album. Samian, You Are Freaking Me Out, and Hot Water Music, Caution. And I tried to get listener feedback from Brother Rogers, but it would have been Fugazi, and Fugazi. And he didn't respond, so that's it. That's all I got.
Look, guys. No, if you want to like pop punk, that's cool. If you want to like ska punk, that's cool.
Yeah,
if you want to like
that's punk rock.
sludgecore, that's cool. You know, just like what you like, but then
What you want? Fuck it.
also like the shit that I like and that we like because we're pretty influential these days.
You should probably avoid the shit that I like. I have horrible taste.
John, you don't. You're just, you know,
Yeah.
you're eclectic.
I think
Sure.
we're all eclectic here. We all listen to all sorts of genres all over the place.
Yeah, I've learned about some pretty great music from you guys.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
welcome.
Proceed with caution. You should probably take Justin's and like answers over mine. So,
I've got something from every one of you guys for music, and I love that. So that's what's great about listening to people's opinions on music. If you have an open mind, and if it sounds good to your ears, you absorb it, you love it, and you move on with your life, and then you play CBGBs when it's a men's clothing store.
You know what I've always said, Greg? Open mind, open legs. And with that, we'd like to thank you all for listening. You're all beautiful, beautiful people. Obviously, all of us here are repping the You Run motherfucking podcast. We all have podcasts. There's so much podcast. You want a podcast about podcasting? There's a podcast for you. Check out the You Run Network. We're phenomenal. We're the Wu-Tang of fucking podcast companies. Fucks.
Yes, and if you want to check our podcast out, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Pod, and YouTube. And like you said, we do rep the You Run podcast and Dewey Pod Monster, Pop Culture Reflections, You Gonna Eat That Crust. We all have Patreons. Check out our Patreons if you want to donate and help out the shows. That would be awesome. We appreciate it. If you don't want to listen to for free, that's awesome as well, too. We appreciate all the support, and thank you so much for listening.
Dewey Podmonster doesn't have a Patreon. I would have joined it.
you haven't listened to this week's episode yet.
Oh, shit. Wow. What a big day it is.
Neither.
We're
Suicide
whoring
machines are
ourselves
good
out there
guys.
too.
You should, man. All, you know, we're just
I'm conflicted, but we're doing it. So
No, that's
What
good.
we're not going to do right now is promo our shows because at this point, it's all just so Lannister incestuous up in this podcast that would be a waste of everybody's time. So if you like what you're hearing, just Google our names and find our respective podcast. You fucks.
Or go to yourunpodcast.com and check out all the awesome shows there. There's more shows than just us. Trust me. There's like 20 shows, and they're all great, and they're all super cool, and they like punk rock.
All right, everyone. So thank you so much for listening. And remember, in Crust, everybody now.
Us.
We
trust.
Oi, 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 oi.
Oi, oi.
Stuff crust, yeah, pump stuff crust. A nigga some mystery, yeah, pump stuff crust. Stuff crust, yeah, pump stuff crust. So what you choose, gonna bust, yeah, pump stuff crust. Stuff crust, yeah, pump stuff crust. A nigga some mystery, yeah, pump stuff crust. Stuff crust, yeah, pump stuff crust. So what you choose, gonna bust, yeah, pump stuff crust.